Hotep back again. I have to say that originally it wasn't planned to make another series. However, I see and realize that I got to get some information out, and holding back information or not releasing it at a certain time will only go to harm my people rather than help them. It's not that I want to do it. I didn't want to do it. It's just I didn't plan for it to be this long. So a minute now. Let's get back to it. Now, a lot of legends all over the world speak of so-called extraterrestrials. Some of them have been referred to as Naki, especially Anunnaki. And like I said in the last video, Anu refers to the sun. Naki refers to a so-called description or a type of people, which were known as melanated people. Now, some of you may be saying, well, that's some bull crap. You know, the Anunnaki was this and this and that. Okay, check Chinese history, especially when it came to the very first dynasty, and I think it was the Shang dynasty. Those people were known as Naki people. They referred to them as a somewhat short, swarthy, complected people. This is where they get you. See, we're trained to either hear that somebody was white, black, yellow, or red, so to speak. Well, white. Okay? We're trained to only hear that. We're not trained to hear stuff like swarthy and olive skin. Now, we're talking about olives. When the hell have you seen somebody that's green in color? Unless it's the Hulk or something like that. So, apparently the olives that they're talking about are the black olives. And it trips me out because I've met some people who are from the Mediterranean who look like Caucasians with some tans, and they're like, oh, well, we're olive skinned people. No, you're not. I'm an olive skinned person. I don't know what the hell you are. Okay, so and these people have even been duped into taking on these classifications or whatever, and they don't even know what they're about, or they could know what they're about and just expect us not to know. Okay, so when you hear about things swarthy, completely, or people the color of ash and all of this stuff, you know who they're talking about. Now, Nagi, Nagu, Naki, Naga all refer to the same thing. The Naga specifically were individuals, they're pretty much like priests. And in the ancient world, your priests and priestesses are a good way, or just another way of saying your metaphysicians, your scientists, your esoteric teachers, your technologically advanced people. And the Naga, which is another word for serpent, they were referred to this also because of the fact of raising the serpent energy from the base of the spine to the head, or Kundalini. Kundalini, of course, is the goddess, the serpent goddess. And it is said, and I only say it like that because you have to experience it for yourself. Nobody can really tell you what it does. I can tell you what it's done for me. However, it's better for you to do it yourself. The serpent goddess raises, or the serpent stands, and allows one to be wise, all-knowing, communicate with all worlds, and be in all worlds at the same time, consciously. You get what I'm saying? So with a person who has raised their serpent energy or raised their consciousness, they are aware of these other worlds at the same time in their waking consciousness. So I'm telling you again, all aliens don't come from no freaking spaceships. Okay? So the same thing with the Naki people, same thing with the Nagu people. This is all over the world. Okay? Now, we can look at various statues over the world. And in the ancient world, I've never seen one that looked like a Caucasian or Asian until certain time periods. Otherwise, that ancient, the ones that are dated the oldest, they look like what we call black, Moorish, you know, Negro people. Negroid. Now, alright, we have to accept that we were something greater than before slavery. The reason why we failed, we lost our communication or our connection to the other worlds. Okay, we failed. We had some individuals who looked very similar to us that did some very things that are contrary to natural law, and it bit us in the ass because we had one particular manifestation that embodied most of our negative qualities, and we are still in some ways enslaved by them to this day. And until we learn, or it's just like Francis Quest Wilson said, until we learn that these individuals are pretty much, in so many words, our brothers and sisters, or stepbrothers and stepsisters, we'll never get out of this. We got to know the truth. We got too many of us that know the truth, especially some of our pro-black or pan-Africanness, and won't say it. They won't say it. Not realizing that in the long run, you actually harm your people. You harm everybody. Withholding information. Secret don't mean something that's kept away from everybody. Secret means at some point it has to be revealed. You secrete semen, or you secrete these fluids in your body. Secrete means it has to be revealed, or it has to be administered at some other time. Okay? So, and that's why I've said that the so-called David Icke information, if you're not careful, at some point they're going to try to lock your ass down, because it's going to be revealed that you are the so-called extraterrestrial, you are that Naga, you are that Naki, you are this and you are that, and they're going to lock you down in fear of you awakening or reawakening to who you are and who your ancestors were. So all of this, even though his books had some information, but you know, there's other writers that said, man, I don't trust Ike. Ike stole our stuff. Ike is not to be trusted. I happen to believe him. Well, I don't believe. I happen to know that. I can feel it. Credo Mutawal said in so many words that the only reason he released that information to him is to get it widespread so some of us can hear it in so many words. Okay? Because some of us have we can accept white people saying something versus when we see somebody of any other color saying something. That's just how we have been ingrained and conditioned and programmed to think. So now, when we get into these people who were the Nagas and the Naki and Nagu, and they're traveling to other places over the world, okay, and people will say, well, they're not coming from another world. Okay, from whose point of view? They are coming from another world. Because if you got a set of people who live in a particular part of the world, and there's certain things that they haven't been introduced or conditioned to see, and then all of a sudden somebody else comes from another world or another point of view containing or having those things, that's the same thing. It's just a different point of view. We have to realize that we're in the plane of duality. And everything has a double meaning. However, it can still be right and exact. And like I read to you the references of those words, they don't necessarily deal exclusively with something from another world. It can be just from some other place. And metaphysics, state of mind. Matter of fact, the bulk of aliens that's been on the world have been coming through people's minds via the mental, spiritual, and astral plane. Okay? The most advanced beings of us, especially those beings who were here one day and then just disappeared, they transmuted in such a high vibration, they could transform themselves into straight energy and shoot off. That's why you don't see, that's why they didn't take their ships with them. Okay? You got some, it goes like this. When humans first began to evolve, first thing you want to do is be able to transverse land, then water, then the air, and then the heavens. And then after there, you master it to the point where you can transverse them without the use of a vehicle or something that covers you up in order to do it. Alright, once again, have to continue in the next video. Hotep.